like we said last week, the purpose this week will be to talk a bit about the topic of Chanukah and to see how the Shalom Shalom Rabbinate Aliyah Shalom Shalom, and to see how basically this fest, these holidays of Hanukkah are totally misunderstood by we, let's say, Bantu Israelites, African American, African. We always think that it's a simple detail. So let me just build the frame. We know that the Ethiopian community, Jewish community, who succeed to have their aliyah and they went back to live in Israel. When they arrived, their claiming was that they left the the whole Bnei Israel crowd before the destruction or after the destruction of the first temple. So basically, in the time of date, we know that the according to what they said, I'm not saying that it's true or it's wrong. It's not the purpose of the Limud. I just grabbed the information like it's even. Shalom, shalom, Chief Rabbi Natan Hanan. So the purpose is to
Shalom,
understand,
shalom, Chief Pinchas.
shalom, shalom, is to understand that from the destruction of the first temple, two communities are claiming that they left. We have the Yemenite and we have the Ethiopians. Okay. Now, when the time arrived for the Jewish from Ethiopia to come back and to be reconnected to the other Jews, especially this one in Israel, it was a bit difficult for them to prove that, yes, we are from the same root, we are the same family. Just for the knowledge, you have most of the Ashkenazi group who claim that they were not Jews, they were not Israelites, and the work of their recognition was made especially by the chief rabbi Ovadia Yosef. So, what was the claiming of the Ashkenazim? It was like the story wasn't standing according to the rabbinical standard, the information we had. First of all, most of them said that they are from the lineage of the son that Shlomo HaMelech had with the queen of Makeda, the queen of Ethiopia, queen of Kush. So the first problem is like in the rabbinical books, studies, text, never such a thing has been said or explained that Shlomo, the king, Solomon had the son with the queen of Sheba. We don't have it in the text. Okay. Let's say it doesn't mean that it's false. We should be open-minded. Maybe we have some details that are not reported, like sometimes we have it, but we do have it in the oral Torah. So on the second point, some of them say, no, 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 we are from Cush. We are the Cushite. Okay. So they asked to them, okay, if you are from Cush, so do you have any tradition connecting to Cush? Meaning, can you prove that there's any lineage, any tradition coming from Nimrod, who is from Cush? And also, do you define yourself as Cushite? So on the other side, they say, no, we are not Cushite, and you can see it. If you call an Ethiopian Cushite, he will beat you. He will not beat you because we are pretty calm. He will consider that you are insulting him like a nigger. So Kushite, Kushi, is the term used in Hebrew to remind someone that is a black man and not in the positive way. So from the corner of saying that they are from Yehuda, Shlomo HaMelech and Malkat Sheva, the queen of Sheva, they didn't prove it at all. And from the corner claim that they are Kushite, the problem is like if you go after Rashi, Ethiopia is not Kush because we don't have the Gihon as a river. We just have the Nilus as a river. And we know that the land of Kush is supposed to be surrounded by the river of Gihon. And actually, Ethiopia, it's only the river of Nilus who goes inside. And even in Sudan, the same thing. So based on Rashi's works and speech, they cannot be Kush. And also, we don't have any cosmology connected to Kush. And when you go to the aspect of Yehuda, the Bnei Yehuda, who are, let's say, 90% of the actual Jews, but they see, we don't have what to say about your lineage in our own tradition. So this is basically what you have to know to understand where we're going to go now and to understand the topic behind Hanukkah. So when they arrived in Israel, so they had some tradition from the first temple. And they were asked, what about the other holidays? About Chanukah, about Purim? What do you do? So no, because we left, we don't have it. This is basically, according to my knowledge, this is basically where they lost their credibility. This is the moment when we knew that at the end of the day, they will have to convert and to become or Ashkenazi or Sephardi. Why? Because this shows that they didn't get it, maybe, that all the holidays we have in the Torah, no matter if they happen to be before the, the destruction of the temple, the first one, the second one, or after, they are spiritual configurations that will be seen or, or lived by the Israelites, no matter where they are and what they are doing. So this was one of the major problems among the rabbis' talk to say this is strange that even the sages, they didn't pass a tradition that the time of Hanukkah should be a specific time in the calendar, even if it will not be understood from the corner of Greek and so on and so on. So that's exactly the trap where we, the Chief Rabbinate of Africa, we don't want to fall. You have to be able to explain in your history that all these light we call festival, we call Chagim, they are deeply rooted inside of our history, no matter if they will be incarnate in other way, in our time, in our structure. So about Chanukah, what is the, yes, Rabbinate Mercy?
Hi, I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure that I'm following. So you're saying that from the books that you have from the sages, that Ethiopia actually is not who they claim that they are
They are
in
not.
terms of that, that's not what you're saying. I just want to make sure because I don't want to be wrong.
No, they are not.
Oh,
They
okay.
are
So
not. I can go further, but I will not open the topic now. I will say that one of the work that we do in the Chief Rabbinate of Africa is not only to study, we also have a think tank. We have people who have PhDs, people who used to work in politics, and we want to seek the truth. And what we know is that the timing is very strange. The timing about the moment when suddenly we will recognize Jews from Ethiopia in the middle of the 80s. When you look at the configuration of the politics at that moment, you will see that the place of Israel and the action of Israel were very criticized, especially according to the support on the apartheid regime that happened in South Africa. You have to know that the Israel government was giving weapons and political strategy to the apartheid to continue. That's why today you will see that the South Africans, it's hard for them to deal with Israelis, because like I said in many interview we had to do with the South Africans and all these Southern African medias and community, is that we should see the state of Israel asking for forgiveness. It's a simple thing. It's simple enough. We don't say that you have to be perfect. Everybody is going through a cycle of evolution. But the story and the people witness are there. The fighters, the freedom fighters, they knew who they had in front of them in the battlefield. They knew what type of weapon was shooting on them. And some of them became Jews nowadays, and they are testify that, yes. We have even here with us Chief Rabbi Natan Hanan, who met with one rabbi who used to be in the other camp in the battlefield. He was fighting for the Africans. He was fighting with the apartheid regime. And they hug. But the truth is that. So we have to admit that there's a fact here that Israel never say, I'm sorry. So at that moment, what's happened, in order to bring down the tension that were around the country of Israel, they decided to give credit and credibility to some stories and histories, but it wasn't from the corner of Torah, it was from the corner of political strategy. So it's much more better to choose, sorry for my language, but black Jews who look like Ethiopian than Jews who look like me. I'm not in the criteria of what is beauty in the world, so we have to accept it. I have not a problem to that in strategy, but now we have the information, and now that we study, we know that okay, the real Kushite, if we have to check the Kushite, it's not in Ethiopia. If we have to see which type of tribes in Africa are keeping tradition which are really close to Torah, it's in Central Africa, it's not in the Western Africa. And people who know African can distinguish what is someone who is a Bantu and someone who is a Nilotic. You will see that no, Bantu's tradition are the Israelites, more very close to Israelites. So all this information, we have them, we know them. So sometimes we try to help because now it's not finished, but things have been done. So some Ethiopian are born in Israel, they have to be helped. But like I told them, the problem for you, my brothers, is like you didn't introduce the dimension of sword in the explanation of your tradition. You thought that it was enough to come and to say, "Hey, we are also Jews, here what we do." No, you have to explain in depth what is all the things you are doing, because one of the biggest defeats you had, you brought a specific festival around Rosh Hashanah. No one in Israel is keeping it. No one in Israel is saying that it's holy. No one in Israel even tried to understand what it is in order to make it even Sephardic or Ashkenazi, also Nusar. How come? Because you didn't work on that purpose of giving depth in the meaning of your specific celebration according to the sword. And this is what it means. Even if you have a case, yes, you have a chief rabbi, but today the tradition have been swallowed. So there's a lot of truth behind. So when I say that, it's not with anger or with hatred, it's just a truth that I bring up when some people want to teach to us what is African and where Jews will be found in Africa. No, we know our continent, we know our countries, and we know what have to be analyzed to see where the truth is standing. So basically, when we go now in the topic of Hanukkah, you will see something strange because in the Torah, it's written, the sages they say that the 8 days of Hanukkah, specific things have to be made. And one of them is that in the main prayer of every day, which is the Amidah, you have to add some text to remember that this is Hanukkah. So here is the text, for example. Let me show to you. I'm working now on a Siddur all in English for people who ask me to do that. Hold on a second. Um, share my screen and you will see it soon. Um, Sorry, I lost it. Is it? Okay, here it is. Okay. Area that you will have to add in the Amida of the morning prayer, of the afternoon prayer, and of the evening prayer. You basically will add Alanissim. So what is Alanissim? It's a specific portion where we will remind the story of Chanukah. So you see here in the blessing Modim, you will add on Chanukah, and for him, the following is added. So on Chanukah, let me make it bigger. You say, and we thank you for the miracles, for the redemption, for the mighty acts, for the saving acts, and for the wonders that you performed for our ancestors in those days at that time. This is the way you introduce the topic. So when now you are on Hanukkah, you had this. And when you are on Purim, you had this. So let's say what is written in Hanukkah. We said that like this in Hanukkah. We said, in the days of Matityahu, the son of Yohanan, the high priest, the Hashmonean, and his son, when the wicked Hellenic government rose up against your people Israel to make them forget your Torah and violate the decrees of your will. But you, in your abundant mercy, stood by them, and in their time of distress, you fought their battles, defend their rights, and avenge the wrong that had been done to them. You delivered the mighty into the hands of the weak, the many into the hands of the few, the impure into the hands of the pure, the weak into the hands of the righteous, and the blind sinners into the hands of those who occupy themselves with your Torah. You made yourself a great and holy name in your word, and you have performed a great deliverance and redemption for your people to this day. Then your children enter the sanctuary for your house, purified your temple, cleansing your sanctuary, kindled the light in your sacred court, and institute these 8 days of Hanukkah to give thanks and praise to your great name. So what is the purpose of Hanukkah? Is to basically to remember that the mindset of that date is that the rulers of the world always want to fight the heritage of their ancestors. There's something very deep in behind the fest of Hanukkah that we don't understand. Yes, in the case of Hanukkah, explaining the Torah in the Gemara and the Mishnah and the Torah, it's about the Greek fighting the Israelites. Okay. But the mindset like this, they came with the mindset of disconnecting the children from the heritage of their ancestors. This is the mindset of Chanukah. Please, just 1 second. I have kids making a bit noise. Sorry. So basically, why is it important for us? It's very simple. We can be in America, we can be in Africa. What was made against us? It's the fact that we were disconnected from the heritage of our ancestors. But before I go on the topic, I will just open a small bracket. We have seen together one very simple pasuk that every single Jew read every single year. It's in the Haftarah Shoftim. What is Haftarah Shoftim? You know that every portion of the Torah is connected to a portion of the prophet text. That portion of the prophet text is called the Haftarah. So when you are in the Haftarah of the Parashat Shoftim, when basically in the Chumash, we talk about the fact that we have to put judge and policemen upon our cities and so on, you have to read one portion of the book of Ishayahu, Ishaya. So let's see it together now. So it's Ishayahu 52, 52, and see what is said in the verse 4 of Ishayahu 52. So you see, here we are. We have this being written. It's like this. For thus said my sovereign God, of old, my people went down to Egypt to sojourn there, but Assyria has robbed them and giving nothing in return. So we have a problem here. If we read all the Torah, we don't see Assyria in the story of Egypt. We went down in Egypt and we basically finished all the topic with Pharaoh and his soldier. What is the topic of Assyria? So let's see the commentaries. We have one commentary of the Ibn Ezra. It was a sage of the 12th century. He said, behold, he said, you know, when we talk about, because in Hebrew it's Be'efes. Okay, like this. C'est Be'efes, Be'ashur Be'efes Ashakusua. Assyria has robbed them for nothing. And he said like this, he said, what is for nothing? And the Assyrian without cause oppressed them. This refers to the exile of the 10 tribes. Oh, so I'm lost. We are talking about the going down in Egypt, and from the going down in Egypt, we are 1,000 years before the separation of Yehuda and the Samaria and the Shomron, basically, which will happen after the death of King Solomon, when his son Rehoboam will take the kingdom. It will be in front of Jeroboam, who will say, you cannot rule because your father made some mistakes. So at that moment, Hashem, who promised to Jeroboam to be also a king, divided the kingdom of Israel in two. So we have Shlomo, David, we have Shaul, the time of the judge, Yehoshua. We have six generations of leaders. So what the connection between going down in Egypt and Assyria? And Ibn Ezra make it even stronger. He say we talk about the 10 tribes. Let's see what the Zohar says about this. Let's see. Go there, we check. Because I know my classics, so I go straight. And the Kabbalah, the Zohar, let's say we take the Sulam. The Sulam is one of the commentary of the Zohar. C'est pas grave, laisse. So what said, it's like this. Say, look. Say, look. It said, let's try to understand this very verse. It's in uh, it's in Zohar Shmot. He said, I'll make a summary. Say, you know what? Hashem is talking here about something very simple. He said, you know when they were in Egypt, the Egyptian, Sham Shama ben Simcha Chaya, the Egyptian, they made strange things, no problem. But at the end of the day, they left to them the land of Goshen. They had the land of Goshen. They had the right to have um, some um, some animals and to have some flocks. Some rights was kept to them. Hashem said, you see, even if the Egyptian did that, I basically beat them. I send on them 10 flood. I send on them all the plagues I was doing. I was so strong against them, even though they had some way they had positivity against the Israelite. He said, but what happened with Ashur? So you will see that here you discover a new truth that you have Bnei Israel, you have two categories of Bnei Israel. You have the Bnei Israel who will do 200 years and 210 years in Egypt. You have another category of Bnei Israel who are going to do 400 years, like it was decided from the beginning. What I'm saying written in the book of Rabbi Nechunya ben Akani. Those one, they are the one who are going to face the Assyrian. See what said the Barasulam. They said, what did the Assyrian when they arrived in Egypt and they saw these Israelites? שהשליך אותם בארץ בסוף העולם. He said they took them and they sent them in the land of at the end of the world. This is all the slave trade. You arrive, you find people, and you start to make slavery and to send them in different way. ולקח את הארץ שלהם, and they took their lands. ומה המצרים שעשו כוללו טובות לישראל? Say, look, if all the good thing that the Egyptians did for Israel, נדונו בכל אלו הדינים, I sent to them all the rigorous pledges that I made, Ashur, Assyria, and let's see, and Edom. That is Edom. We used to understand it in the rabbinical literature as Christianity. Assyria. So what is Assyria? See, they are the first to start. You have to know that the slave trade made by the Muslim Arabs is the first one who was started in the continent of Africa. And still now it's happened. You go to Libya, you will see what's happened there. We are selling people, black people, for some money. So I say, what's happened in that case? The Assyrian, all the Christianity, and that's not finished. The Shah Amim, and all the people of the world, meaning everybody will eat in that pot. Chinese, American, European, French people, Australian people, Saudi Arabia, everybody is involved in that case. Remember, Ibn Ezra said we're talking about the lost tribes. See? So when you talk about the lost tribes, one of the ways to know who is a real lost tribe is to see that he is the one who is beaten by all the world, damaged by them. Not like, we suffered also. No, we're not talking about suffering also. We talk about to be the one that everybody will come and give that punch, that hooked on it. And he said, they make them suffer. They make them suffer. How? They kill them. They take their money. I say, even the list is not exhaustive. There's a lot of things. Say, now look, when Hashem will want to make his name great, like it's written, I will make my name bigger and holier than that. He said, look, in Egypt, I eat one king, but here in the final Geula, can be Geula Shlema, in the future, Yeze Bekol Melachim Sheba I will beat all the kings of the world. So what I say to people who call me, say, Rabbi Pincha, you see Syria has fallen, Bashar al-Assad left, Bashar is coming. I said, no problem. Bashar is coming. What's the plan for the black people? Oh, if you know, what's the plan for us? We have no plan, so no Mashiach. Why? Because I have a text telling me that at the final Geula, the situation of the lost tribes, especially the one who are beaten by all the world. What is to be beaten by all the world is to be in a country, in a continent where you don't have your own money. You don't have your own currency. You don't have currency. In Africa, no currency. Our central bank are not our central bank. They are representative of the European Central Bank. We don't have army. We don't have hygiene. We don't have food. We don't have anything. We are beaten. And we take our lands. We send our brothers overseas. Yes, we take everything. That's why I say, look, if you talk about Mashiach being the Rabbi Probabich, I have no problem. What's the plan for us? If I don't know, the Mashiach is the Chanukah, I have no problem. What's the plan for us? So if there's no plan for us, I'm just bringing you to a text telling you that there is no Geula Shilema if the 10 lost tribes, especially the one who are beaten by all the world. I'm not talking that you're facing Germans. I'm not saying that you're facing Chinese or you're facing Japanese and you have a war going on for centuries against a specific people. I'm talking about all the world being against one people. The only case where you see that in history, in reality, is about the Bantus Israelite. Bantus just mean men, Adam. You see, we are here facing a situation, people build the Geula without us. So let's go back to Chanukah. So I open the bracket, I close the bracket. So let's go back to Chanukah. So what is the purpose of Chanukah? Is to remember what we say in the Tefillah, is that the Greek mindset was to come and basically to disconnect us from our ancestors. What was made for the Bantus Israelites who would become African Americans, African in South America, no matter, even if in the place we will be, it's now also their land, but we have one common root. What's happened to us is that we lost the heritage of our ancestors. The work of the Chief Rabbinate of Africa, based on what we have studied, is to say, you know what? Before the missionaries arrived in Africa in the 4080s, you have to know that the tradition of your ancestor, it was Mishnah, it was Torah. We found a lot of books like this one, for example. Where is mine? I quote it, I spoke about it in the Limud recently. I'll show it to you. The books of Ekiano, the slave. Is a slave from Benin who arrived in Virginia, succeeded to buy his freedom, was sent traveled in England, arriving there, he met some European Jews, and he was surprised by the similarities he was seeing in the behavior, reminding him his village about the nida when women have their blood, about the way to wash hands, about the beard of the sages. All this, it's written in his book. So when we say that our traditional, before the missionaries arrived, it was Mishnah. We are not lying. We are reminding people, say, you know what? You ancestors were Israelite. Because of what we saw in the Zohar, that strategy, that worldwide strategy to get your land, to take your money, and to kill you, and to send your brothers overseas, they made you believe that it was idolatry. And you never thought that maybe the kingdom of my ancestors was so flourished, so powerful because of their holiness that you never dig in that direction. But we are here to give to you that proof. So what is for us Chanukah? Is to remember that moment. That moment, no, look, they came, who? Not only the Greek for us. Who came? Assyria, Edom, and all the people. Look, everybody came to give a new tendency, spiritual tendency in Africa or among Black people. You have a new concept, let's send to them. New concept, let's send to them. We take everything. We receive from everybody, but we don't practice what was our authentic culture. So the purpose of Hanukkah, according to the Nusar Afriki, is to know that that 8 days they are here to help us in what we will do, the way we'll do it, to reconnect with the authentic and original tradition of our ancestors, which was a primitive Judaism. And we have historical proof to say to do it, but we needed speech of Torah. Here is a gift to you. Because what's happened here, you see that among the Jews, we will have a civil war. People talk about the miracle of Hanukkah, but we never explain to you the meaning of the text you read when you had that part in Hanukkah. Because we know, according to the Torah, there is no righteous or wicked if there is both of them, they are not connected to the Torah. Someone can only be considered like wicked because he has Torah. Someone can be considered like sinner because he has Torah. So when you see here, you did, you delivered the mighty into the hands of the weak. Who are they? These are Jews. The many to the hand of few. Jews, the pure into the hands of impure to the hand of pure. Who can be pure? The one of Torah. Who can be impure? The one of Torah. That's why Gemara said a non-Jew has no problem with purity and impurity. It's not impure because he is not dealing with Torah. So you see here, the text is describing to us a civil war. A category of people saying, it's okay. Let's take a bit of a Greek mindset, a bit of philosophy, to mix it up, and we can have a good life also. And other people say, no, out of question. We have the heritage of our ancestors to protect. Our fathers gave to us away. How can we add something that they didn't knew? How can we pray God that they didn't knew? It's forbidden for us. So Chanukah, this is the purpose for us as Chief Rabbinate of Africa. Chanukah is the moment when we can give that power to all the people in terms of spirituality. We should not pray God that our ancestor didn't, gods that our ancestor didn't knew. This is a basics foundation. So what, when, and in which period in the time of the calendar we have that power to make this proclamation very spiritual? Chanukah. You should not pray gods that your ancestor didn't knew. It's for us also. It's for us also. So based on that, we will have a way to celebrate Chanukah, which will be different. So you see what I've said to you now in half an hour? This should have been the discussion and the words that the chief rabbi of the Ethiopian Jews should have had with the chief rabbinate of Israel. If you talk like that, who can contest who you are? But if you didn't get it, let's say some tools didn't arrive in your hands, I have no problem. Okay. But once you have that tools, you have to study them, put rabbis on the topic and write them and work. But we will not fall in that trap. We will show that every single tradition, minhagim of the Torah, are also ours and will be understood and live in a different way, but in the same topic. So based on that, we have two things. We have different things. The way we celebrate Chanukah, it's like everybody, but we have specific things we do based on what I just have explained. So we made a guide paper, like print flyer for Chanukah. And I will explain just the key moment. So here's the guide for Chanukah. So generally, you have people, when they do Chanukah, they light, the halacha said that you should only light outside of the house, or you should light if you are afraid of the hatred. You should light the place where you have the window. Basically, the light should be giving face outside. What does it mean? It's like this. Hanukkah, you should light in the street. What is the street? It's the public space. What is the house is the private space. Both of them are ruled with different way. Public space is the place of impurity, public place of the beings, the entities. And the inner space, it's your house. So what the purpose of the public space is of Hanukkah is to go on public space and to say, we light now. Why do we light? Because we don't want you to change what is inside. In other words, we don't want you to change our tradition, our heritage. So when you light, this is outside, this is one opinion in the Mishnah, saying that you should light the first day one candle, let's say two candles, because you always light the shamash. The second day, three candles, and so on, until you will light basically 8 candles plus the shamash on the last day. But the Mishnah, it says like this. There's another opinion called Bet Shammai. Bet Shammai say it's the opposite. We light 8 candles the first day, and we decrease. We go down till the last day of Hanukkah, we light 1 candle. We know that the opinion of Bet Shammai is always the one expressing the mystical dimension, the hidden dimension, the secret dimensions. So what do we do, Chief Rabbinate of Africa? We light 2 Chanukiot. One outside to be according to the halacha, and one inside to perform the mitzvah and the mindset of Bet Shammai. When you see 2 opinions in the Torah, it doesn't mean that they are opposite. You are talking from different perspectives on the same topic. So this is why you will see we light outside with the blessing, and we keep silent, and we go inside and we light. Second thing, very important. People will tell you, oh yes, you should light from left to right, but you light the candle of the day first. So at the end of that, people are mixed up. You have your Chanukah. You say, okay, what should I light? I light this candle. No, I'll make it very simple for you based on Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and Ayakadosh mindset. The Chanukah should always, let's say, this is the door. This is your entrance door. Your Chanukah should always be like this. You see, the entrance door like this. And the Chanukah should be on the bottom of the door. Not too high, not in the middle, but on the bottom. What distance from the floor? 9 tefach. What is 9 tefach? It's 9 feet. I count 1, 2, 3, 9, and you have the minimum space that should be between the floor and the base of your Chanukah. Is it okay? It's not too technical?
Chief Rabbi, so this one is the one outside or the one inside
Is
that
the
you're
one
showing us?
outside. Outside.
So from outside, it should be that close to the door, but
Yeah.
nine fists
Yeah.
above the floor,
Yeah.
the ground.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the door in that case, sorry for my language, it represents the womb. So the light is here to do a work. That's why we asked the woman to stay in front of the light half an hour. I never told you why. The purpose is like at that moment in Chanukah, the the lighting outside helps the man and the wife of the house to bring back the lost seeds which were now in the public space. So basically, by putting the Chanukia at that level, there's some reason why we will light like this. You see, this is the door. This is the Chanukia. So basically, the 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 more I'm moving forward in Hanukkah, the closer I'm going to the door, from the door. So the first day of Hanukkah, my candle will be the farthest. Second day, third day, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. And the last candle of Hanukkah is the one with the closer of the door. So don't talk about lighting from left to right. No, just know your door, put your Hanukkah in, not in parallel, put it perpendicular like this, and you light like this. That's it. First day, I light here. Second day, I light here and then here. Third day, I light here. Second, one. Fourth, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fifth, 5, 4, 6. Six. And the last day, I light 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and so on. And when I finish to light the last one, I light the shamash, the nine one, ninth one. That's it. This is the way we light. I will explain to you. Yes,
So
Rabbinate, merci.
I'm sorry. So when you're doing all the lighting, you're still using the shamash candle to do all the lighting, right?
No, we don't use the shamash to light the candle. We let the shamash on its position and we use matches or anything else to light. The shamash is always on its position and we light it with the matches.
And you don't light that candle, the shamash candle, until the last day. It's the last candle that gets lit.
You light it every single day, but the last. The first
Okay.
day, I will light the candle of the day and after the shamash. And the last day, I will light the candle of the day and all the other. And the last one will be the shamash to be lighting.
So it always gets lit every day.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yes, Rabbani Tadassa.
Okay. I think I want to apologize for being redundant, but to ask again what Sister Mercy asked. So with the shamash candle, we light the shamash and each successive day's candle every day. And the
No,
last day we light all 9 candles.
it's like this. Let me show to you. You see here, you see here, for example. You see, in the house, we will have that configuration. No, outside the house. We have the shamash and one candle. The shamash always has his own position, never moving, always putting on his position.
What's the purpose of the shumash in that position if it's not to light the other candles? What's the symbolism of the shumash?
The shamash for us is what we call the for the one who speak Hebrew. Have you heard about the term Ben Hashmashot? Right?
No, hello? No.
Okay. There's a time in the day when this when at the sunset, but before the night come, it's not day, it's not night.
Mhm.
So it's just after the Shkia. You have a time like this, it's like party.
Oh,
Yeah,
right. Okay. And then Shumash has the same shorish as sun, right?
exactly. Ben
So,
Hashmashot, but Shamash in plural, it's Shmashot. So when you say Ben Hashmashot, it means two things. We in South Africa, we light the candle of Chanukah at the Shkia, sunset. We don't light at night time. Why? Because we want to light at the moment when masculine and feminine are basically one. Masculine being the day, feminine being the night. When are they one united? It's at the Shkia and Ben Hashmashot. So the Shamash here is the one incarnate that unity of the inner and the external, of the masculine and the feminine, of the days and the night. That's why it's basically the identity, the character of our Hanukkah, is where we bring that unity to be existent. That's why we don't use it. We let it at the end to say, here is, we perform this for that unity. And that unity should be acquired after lighting the color of the day. The Ashkenazi, they use it to light, but they have another explanation about the use and the meaning of the shamash. And like you said also, it's also the shemesh. So shemesh is also the sun. So it's like the aspect of being here, standing, not moving. Things are turning around him, not him turning around people.
Shalom to Rabbi. So,
Yeah.
okay. So we light the shamash at the Shahia, the sunset. Did you also say something about 30 minutes before
Yeah, it's like this.
you?
At the sunset, we light first the candle of the day. For example, the first day, I will first of all light this. I say my blessing on the outside Hanukkah. When I say my blessing, this one, basically, Baruch atah liadik ner Hanukkah. After you say Shia Nisim, so translated, it's like this. Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of universe, who sanctify us with this commandment and command us to kindle the light of Hanukkah. The second blessing is, who did miracle for our fathers in this day, in this time, for our ancestors. So it's the first of the ancestors, what we need to know our identity, our origins. And only the first night we had the third blessing, which is, who had made us live, exist, and reach this moment. Shechian v'kimanu. So basically, when you're finished, you keep silent, and you light this one first, the candle of the day. After you light this shamash, after you go inside of your house and you have your 8 candles, Bet Shammai ready with the shamash. My advice, put it close to the window. Same thing. Put it in the direction when you will do like this. The last candle will be the closer to the window. That's it, opposite. You see, it's all mathematics. I spent 4 hours of Limud last week with students. It's like this. You keep silent, you go inside, you light your 8 candle, Bet Shammai, plus the Shamash. And after you can talk. But I will say what you say after. So anyways, I light first the candle of the day, and after with the same match, I light the candle shamash. If the matches, let's say they are not enough long, what you do, you take a new one and you take from that flame to light that one. So my advice can be like this. You put 1 candle for the day, 1 candle for the shamash, and take maybe another candle to have time. Small candle. The purpose is to have the same flame being used to light here and here and after here and here and here. So what I do, I took, the small candle of Hanukkah that they sell in the stores, and I use the one random to light all the other candles to have a specific role in that day. So day 2, you have 2 outside plus the shamash, and you have 7, and it goes continue, 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 continue. And the last day, which is Zot Chanukah, you light 8 candles plus the shamash and only 1 plus the shamash inside. This is the way we balanced. We, South African, we did it many years in Jerusalem. People were, oh, wow, you doing that? Wow, we never saw that. Wow, crazy. Because it makes sense. When you sit down, you make up your mind, you say, we have a Mishnah telling you Bet Hillel, Bet Shammai. We have sages telling us that Bet Shammai is the secret of the sword, the secret of the invisible Torah. How can you just let it like this? You have to remember that this is the two opinions. The two houses of Shammai and Hillel, they were what we call the Zugot. Zugot is the category of sages of the Naim who were basically like twins in their soul. They came down in different family, maybe, but in terms of Torah, they are talking about different faces of the same thing without being in opposition. People never understood the explanation of machloket, meaning being from another opinion. They are not here to fight. They are here to ask to you to find a way to bring that two truths to live together. That's why in Botsina Kadisha, all these places, we always have lighting. One outside and one inside. And the one inside was put to the windows. People was asking, you have light 8 here, and I see this one. Wow, yes, makes sense. Yes, this is Torah. Yes, Rabbinate Mercy.
Okay, so I'm understanding the one outside, perpendicular to the door, stacked up 9 fists high,
Mm.
lighting from the furthest of the door to the closest. And the shamash candle gets lit every night as well. Now, the
Mm.
one from inside, is that perpendicular to the window as well, or is that parallel to the window?
On the one inside, because it's connected to the Nistar, to the Eden, to the dimension of, let's say, Torah, where you have no borders, meaning it's unity. Don't say my. Rabbi Akiva say like this to his students. See, when you will have to reach the Gan Eden, you hit that in that place. Don't say waters. Don't make distinctions like you used to do it when you are in the physical world. So I will not tell you what is the best way to do. I will let you feel what you should do because what is inner is proper to each one. But you just know that the rule is like this, from 8 to 1. But I give to you the way I'm doing. Me, I'm putting them perpendicular, not parallel to the windows, like I did outside. I did it inside, but with the windows. And I go like I said. So for me, in my house, this is the way I keep that logicality. But this one, it's all about the minhag of the house. What you have to respect is just to go from 8 candles to 1. This is the purpose. So now why is it like that? Because at the moment of Chanukah, we reverse the roles. Who is lighting? The man. While all the years, it was the woman lighting. The woman, she used to light inside of the house, the candle of Shabbat. Now the man is lighting outside of the house, the candle of Chanukah. What's happened now? It's like you give some strength to the woman in the main space, meaning in outside. And you give some strength to the man in the feminine space, meaning inside. That's why we said to the woman, she has to be sitting half an hour looking at the candles of the Chanukiah. So she will be sitting outside. And the men who have light inside have to take care for her to have some tea, some biscuits, something nice. She have to feel that, okay, it's my time. Why? Because basically at that moment, these lightings are here to go and get the lost seeds of the husband. The husband, they are Shovavim. Shovavim, it means like, I don't know, stubborn. Yeah, stubborn. Shovavim. Okay, we bring this to house. And the woman is here sitting, getting that fixing from the connection to the door. And this will be the way to awake the mindset of we want to hold by our tradition. This is what we say in the Alanissim. And here is the yes, Rabbinate Mercy. Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So I'm kind of understanding what you're saying. I still got to process it. But if you're single, then what do you do at that point? You know what I'm saying? You don't have a
Yeah.
man to light them, then what?
You do
Mm-hmm.
both. You do both. You do both because your husband to be is in the masculine side of your soul. Everything is
Mm.
everything. So even if you're not married yet, but you can empower, even bring him back so fast, by lighting these things. And that can be your intention by lighting this. Because if this man is taking so long to come, it's because of his lost seeds. This is what brought him so
Mm.
far. So you basically are helping him. You guy, come back. You do a few things, but you set the blessing on the Chanukah of outside, and you sit outside. And if you see
Okay.
that guy coming, Shalom, Rabbinate Mercy. You come now. You come exactly now. What's happened to you?
Very,
Yes.
very important ritual. That's great. I do have a question. What if you don't have an outside? What if you live in an apartment and so outside of your door isn't outside, it's still inside?
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
go, we're not in the field. I don't have a field here in Tel Aviv.
What we used to do is like this. You can do it outside of the door of your apartment. If there is no place to do that, you go to the bottom of the building where you live. And it's right, it's okay because everybody's doing that. You go over, they take all the entrance door, they put their Hanukkah, they put it on the things. It's you can do it like in this way. But
Okay. Thank you.
if you have to have your moment, if you have a small corner, when you have the steps, you put it a bit on your on what other point. The mezuzah is on the right, Chanukah on the left. So if you put your Chanukah outside, you have to put it parallel to the mezuzah. You see? Let's say this is the door. One second. So this is the door. If the mezuzah is here, the Chanukah will be here. It's important. Like this, when you enter your house, you're surrounded by mitzvot. Yes, Rabbanit Hadassah?
Okay, so um, I'm trying to figure out where to put the candles outside because I don't want people to disturb them.
Mm.
Because where we live, we have a lot of mischievous
Ah,
children. And also we have a lot of visitors. And then because it gets dark earlier, sometimes they come after dark. And so if I have the candles directly adjacent to the door or right outside the door, then how can I have them be safe in case someone comes and we have to open the door, things like that.
it's like this. If you know that's not safe for you to do it like in the way, the halacha say like this: light in the window. It's important that the light will be seeing outside. So you will be considering that your outside Hanukkah will be in front of the window. So you apply the same rule. You put in the way, like the last candle lighting will be the closer one from the window. And you find another place in the living room. It can be a nice place where you put the other Chanukah from the inside one. For the one who are in Galut or outside, yes, don't take any risk. The time out pretty hard, and not everybody can understand the meaning of what you are doing. So it's better to do it like in that way, if you feel that's not safe and you don't want your candle to be touched or anything like that, because it's important to have at least that half an hour of candle being lighted. If after half an hour they are off, it's not a problem. But you need that
Okay.
half an hour to be. That's why you sit. In a way, you sit in front
Mhm.
and you stay, and generally half an hour it's enough to do what I will show to you now. What
One
we,
more.
yeah, yeah,
I'm
go,
sorry.
go ahead.
Sorry, Chief Rabbi. Just one thing. So, I think I can do it outside, but like you said, like I can light the candles and sit for the 30 minutes, but then after that, I don't know. I hopefully they don't, I hope that somebody will understand that it's important or sacred. But if someone comes and puts it out or touches it or something, then that's on them. Now for the 30 minutes, so just to clarify, so I'll light the candles outside and sit for 30 minutes and then go inside to light the inside candles after the 30 minutes.
No, the
Okay.
lightings is based on the blessing you are saying. Once you have said the blessing of the day, Baruch atah, Baruch atah, let's say the first day you will say 3 blessings. Once you have said them, you keep silent and you start to light all the candle. Basically, every single day you will light 11 candles, exactly like the number of the klipot. That's why it's the whole thing. There's a whole
Wow.
exactly. That's why we do it like that. The number every single day you bring down what we call the 11 klipot in all their configuration. Yes, Rabbanit Shalva?
Rabbi, can if can you use an electric uh menorah for the purpose of the outside if you have any problems with with the light?
Mm. You say electric, meaning that you will be using
There,
electricity?
no, electric with bulbs. It
Mhm.
looks like but you can use the light of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you have oil and wick inside and you light.
Yes, I will have one inside and the outside will be the electric that I will start using the bulbs. You know what I mean?
Explain to me. So the outside,
So
do you light with fire or do you light them with how do you light them outside?
It's a menorah, electric menorah, and then you just screw. I mean, you.
You turn the
ma- yeah, you
Mhm.
turn the light on. I think it's so funny, Shava. I'm jumping in because what your question reminds me of what I saw my rabbi also do in Alabama. Outside, they'll have an electric menorah, right, with light bulbs. It's plugged in, and they control it by just screwing or unscrewing the light bulb every day. Is that what you mean, Shava?
Okay. Now, according to the way we understand this mitzvot, we need to use the oil. Electric, basically, according to the way we apply the halacha, will not make you perform the mitzvah according to what we have from the story, because the story said that the miracle of Chanukah, they find oil being protected with the stamp of the high priest. So, in order to perform the mitzvah, it's exactly like the candle of Shabbat. If we cannot accept maybe the fact that a woman lighting the candle of Shabbat with something electric, Kal vachomer, some way we will apply it for Hanukkah. Because the Hanukkah candle and the Shabbat candle, they are basically the same. They are basically the same in terms of chumrot. We really need to have wick, oil, or it can be a candle with wax, but you have to make that mitzvah. Why? Because in the lighting, you have three colors inside of the flame, which are blue, red, yellow, and even black, which is not seen. We have four colors, but let's say we have three. That colors, they are acting in terms of frequency with your view, with your inner soul. So when the light is artificial, you're losing all the work that could be made by the flame. And that's why we said you have to to look at the flame. And this is exactly what we say in the Anerotalalu. Look what we say. We kindle this light to commemorate the saving act, miracle, and wonders which you have performed for our forefathers in this day at this time, through you holy priests. Throughout the 8 days of Chanukah, this light are sacred, and we are not permitted to make use of them, but only to look at them in order to offer thanks and praise to your great names for your miracles and for your wonders and for your salvation. So when we read this just after the lightings, it's because that the fact of looking at them, it's a whole mitzvah. So that mitzvah should be performed with specific rules. What is them? One of them, it should be real flame in front of you. Like this, you will be Yotzet Yedechovata, Ter. Yes, Rabbinate Mercy.
Hi, thanks, Chief Rabbi. So I just want to make sure that I'm getting this. And a couple questions. So my first question is, I don't have oil and wick, so I guess I have to get that because what I use, even for my Shabbat candles, are just candles that burn. So my Shabbat candles generally burn for about 3 hours or more, maybe a little bit more. And my Hanukkah candles usually burn between 18 and like 20, 25 minutes, depending. So you're saying don't use that, use actual an oil and wick and that whole thing.
No, I said if you want to perform the mitzvah, the lacha, like in the best way,
Which of course I do.
yeah,
So I
it's
cancel
oil.
out.
Yes,
I cancel out.
exactly.
Okay.
It's oil, olive oil with wheat. If you
Okay.
do not for any reason, for example, me, what I do, you see, I buy, even my Chanukah, I don't buy Chanukiot. I have these small things, how
Oh, we just buy little candles.
like this. I put my oil inside. I put it on they should always be on the same size. I put it on the small table, my table of Chanukah, that I know is 9 tefa height. I put them, and I light. But if I have no case, the small candle, the white candles that used for Shabbat, you can use them. The purpose is that it should be working half an hour
Okay.
minimum.
All right. Half an hour. Okay.
That's how.
What happens if the wind blows? You can light it again because it's not a high holy day.
If your candle didn't stood half an hour, light them again.
Okay.
If half an hour is passed, you can let them like that. No problem.
And once I'm done with so then I'm saying the blessing, I'm lighting the candles, all the candles inside and out. Then I'm going back outside. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to look at the flame of the candles that I lit outside for 30 minutes. And then once it goes out, can I bring it back inside for the night and just bring it back, or does it have to stay outside for the whole night?
No, they have to stay outside. But what you do is like this. When you finish to light the candle and you go back outside, you have to say this text in front of the light of outside. The first text is Anehot Alalu Anu Malikim, what I've just read before. And straight you go there. You say the Psalm 13, Tehillim 13. Mizmor Chanukah Tabayit LeDavid. And after, we have some segulot, us, as Chief Rabbinate Africa, from the Zohar. The Zohar said, if you said 7 times the Psalm, the Tehillim 91, Yosef Beseter, this can help you for protection. This will help you for protection all the year. So once you know it, it's fast. It takes you 10, let's say, 30 seconds. You say it's
So
7
once,
times.
no, I was just gonna say, so before you sit there for the 30 minutes and look at the flame, you gotta say the after blessings and stuff,
Yeah.
and then you're sitting there. Okay,
Yeah.
so my neighbors are gonna think I'm completely crazy, but that's all right because I'm doing it for Hashem.
That's all right.
Okay. So I've
Yes,
done
ma'am.
crazier things, so that's okay.
Mhm. Yes.
Is somebody tell us that?
Yes. I think it's funny you say that, Sister Mercy, because it's true. Like, especially where I live, it's these people. We see people outside in the parking lot yelling at their children, throwing stuff, arguing with each other, and it's like that's crazy. That's violent. And then they think that's okay though. You outside smoking all kind of stuff, and but then let us sit there and literally quietly pray, in sanctity. They'll think that's crazy. But this is the world we live in, calling evil good and good evil. But so, but my question, okay, because I don't mean to sound redundant, but I think we all agree we want to get this right. um, so we're going outside. Oh, one question about what I should put it on. Okay, now I have another question. Now, I have also heard that it's best to light oil candles. I believe it was Rabbi Alana Nava that also said that that's the best way to elevate the mitzvah, to light oil candles for Shabbat, and of course, in this case, for Chanukah. Now, in that case, instead of having the menorah, the special Hanukkah menorah with the 9 vessels, if we just have 9 oil, cups of oil and set it outside, like you said, make a small table or something that's 9 fists high. We can just have 9 cups of oil for the candles,
Yes.
instead of like the menorah figure.
This is exactly what I do every single year. I take the same small cups, I put them, get my small table, put a basement for on it, and I put in the direction I need, and I like this. So the purpose is to understand that the Chanukah is not something should be made by it. You can make it just by your small cups. And it's much more funny for the kids because they feel involved. They know that we have to make the Chanukah. They came, we put things, and can I do the one inside? Go, go, go. So it's a moment also of Chagim. So this year, especially, it will be on the Christmas. So in a way,
Yeah, right.
we have to remember that this is a moment we are here. Of course, we fix the couple problem of these things, but also to rejoice the kids. We offer a gift. We give them time. And me, especially we in Congo, we have our donuts. We do mikate. So this is the moment I said to my wife, you do my African donuts with oil. We put them in oil. This is the way we call it sphinge or soufganiot. We call it mikate. So it's like we go, if I show to you the way it's look alike, for sure it will remind you some of your food, no matter where you are from. See, in Cameroon we call it poof poof. Everybody has his own name, but in Congo we call it mikate. You see, mikate. It's like this.
Mhm.
You see.
Yes, yes.
You eat it,
Mhm.
I put some chocolate, some jelly. You have to
Oh,
make it bigger, smaller. It can be salty. You can put. The purpose of Hanukkah is basically to be connected to the oil. and to eat oily things. That's why you have the sufganiyot. So if you see it, you see that in our culture we do have moments where we do eat these things. Why do you eat it? Because it's meaningful for many things. So you have kids also try to buy small gift, and you give one gift every single day of Hanukkah. Sometimes you don't kill your pocket, but you can give an example. If I want to offer this to my kids, this is a Mishnayot. The first day I offer one of the books. Second day, second book. Okay, one gift for each single day. This is a dad who like to study too much, but we offer some toy, some candies, all these things. Let them enjoy that moment. That's what I need mercy.
So my last rabbi, when I was in Messianic,
Mm,
he's Jewish by culture, and
mm.
he used to tell us that the gift giving on Hanukkah was started by the New York Jews in the 60s to compete with Christmas. So he used to say on Hanukkah, you don't give gifts because that wasn't the way it originally was. But I don't know where that stands, but what are your thoughts on that?
It's like this. On Hanukkah, the one of the story that we know that kids were involved. It's here. I don't know what the name of it in Hebrew.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Bradel?
yeah, exactly. So they were playing while the Romans were trying to find the Hashmonaim. So they saw kids playing with these things. And on these things, you have letters saying that they have and Nes Haya Sham or Nes Haya Po, depending where you are. If you are outside of the land of Israel, you say that miracle happened in that place there. And if you are in the land of Israel, say miracle happened here. So they were playing, and just the answer they gave to the Greek, and the fact of playing that gave also place for the kids in that fest. So when you have kids being involved in such a big salvation, so how do you connect them with that fest to give them something to play with? This is where is originates the fact of giving to them gift. I don't know, maybe he had another opinion, but my tradition, why we do use that moment for the kids, because they were involved in the building of that miracle by playing and getting basically the Greek intention, and then that miracle will be happening soon. This is why we include kids in the way to celebrate, and we offer them some gift. You can offer this. There's a lot of time of
Mm-hmm.
this. They can play, and like this, we bring the miracle to be also connected to their ends. Yes, Rabbinate, that's all.
Okay, so all right, so we start at sunset. Now, the Shabbat candles, they say that you light them 18 minutes before sunset. So in the
No
case
problem.
of when Shabbat falls on Hanukkah, then will we be lighting the Shabbat candles first for the Hanukkah candles?
It's like this. No, we always light the candle of Hanukkah first. Because if you light the one of Shabbat first, you're trapped. You cannot make fire.
Oh, right. Right.
So
Yeah.
what you have to do, the way I've learned with my master, the way I saw him doing. First of all, on Hanukkah time, we don't have yeshiva. We don't have normal days of study. We've always finished at noon. Like we want to give every single one time to go back home to prepare the candle. If they are family or even if they are single, you have time to go back home. So about Shabbat, we have no problem because like this, on Hanukkah, the the most problematic time is the time of Shabbat. Why? Because lighting at the Shkia moment will not give you time to do all your stuff for Shabbat and so on. And also, you cannot light Motzei Shabbat, the exit of Shabbat, before the exit of the day of Shabbat. So what you do is like this. On Friday afternoon, we know that we can receive Shabbat earlier. It's not a problem. Shabbat maximum time of reception is when it will be the night. But let's say if, for example, Shabbat starts at the light, let's say the candle of Shabbat should be lighted at 5 p.m. You know that 5 p.m. you have to light the candle of Shabbat, no problem. You need your half an hour and your 5, 6 minutes to do all the prayers. So what you do, light your Chanukah candle at let's say at 4. If you want time, at 4, light them. You light them at 4. You do your things. You enjoy. Like this, you have also time to eat a bit of the donut and so on. And after you go and light your candle of Shabbat. This is the way to do. Now on the exit of Shabbat, what you do, you have first to light the candle of Havdalah. So you exit Shabbat, you light the candle of Havdalah. So my advice will be for you, if you pray Arvit after Shabbat, pray it closer to the Shkia. When it will be Saturday, when it will be the sunset, you can pray Arvit earlier. You pray Arvit earlier. Like this, you just wait. Shabbat exit, boom, you go. You do your Havdalah, straight you go, you light your candle of Chanukah. So basically, the only thing to change on Shabbat exit is to pray your Arvit of Shabbat a bit earlier, closer to the Shkia time. What I do every single day of the week. I never pray in the night time. I always do my prayer of the night at the sunset.
Okay, because there's all kinds of there's commentary, especially in the Siddur Sephardi, that kind of if you extend the exit of Shabbat, the later that you let Shabbat go out is more of a blessing because you're prolonging the exit, like you don't want her to go. So, but you're saying do it earlier, like as closest to the twilight, the sunset. So for us, I want some clarification on that because again, where I live, it gets dark so early now. It's like 3:45 or something. So when you said you mentioned earlier the twilight, like when it's between the days. So when it's not exactly dark yet. I'm just trying to get this together. So you would still then, in this case, by doing Havdalah a little earlier, it would still be a little light outside, and that would be okay?
No, it's like this. Havdalah, you already, first of all, when you pray your Amidah of Motzei Shabbat, in your Amidah, Havdalah is included. You heard it when you say Ata Chorantanu. It's already an Havdalah. Whereas Havdalah, meaning you putting your soul in the position of being ready to go on the Chol, but you have to wait that the time also will be Chol. Basically, meaning you have to wait that Shabbat will be over. Let's say if Shabbat is finished at 6, even if you have said your Havdalah earlier, you are not allowed yet to do whole activities. You are allowed to say Havdalah in your Amidah. Just wait the end of Shabbat, the actual end of Shabbat, where you're going to perform the Havdalah with the lighting of the candles.
Yes. Okay.
You light them, and once you light them, you light the candles of Chanukah.
Okay. Okay. And one more question. So going back to the original, just all days of Hanukkah, you said every day we should have 11 candles lit. So again, just to make sure, we're going outside, we're going by the door, we're lighting the candle of the day, then go inside, light those candles, and then come back outside to sit and gaze for the 30 minutes and the
Yeah,
prayers.
yeah.
Okay, got it. Toda Rabba.
You're welcome. Yes, Rabbinate Mercy.
Okay, thank you. Oh, and to your point about the read at the end, so just make sure I'm doing it right on the end of Shabbat. So if the time says 6:10 is when Shabbat is over, I get my times from Chabad because that's the only place that I know how to get them. So anyway, I say get those. So then what I usually do is at 6 o'clock, if it's supposed to be over at 6:10, at 6 o'clock, I start doing the Psalms before the Avrit for the Moshe, I don't know how to pronounce it. And then I go through the Arvit and I do the extended portion of it. And then once I do that, then I do the Havdalah. And then it's usually done. So I'm hoping that that's okay. Because I started like 10 minutes before it says that Shabbat's supposed to be over is when I start doing my prayers. But going back to what we were talking about before with the Hanukkah and Hanukkah. So what is the intention that one is supposed to have, the kavanah that one is supposed to have when sitting and gazing, or even doing the prayer? When I'm doing the prayer, well, I guess when I'm doing the prayer, the blessings, I'm doing it with the intention of thinking about being reconnected to my ancestors and what they used to do. What is my kavanah when I am looking at the candles? And what is my, or I guess this is flipped. What is my kavanah when I'm doing the after blessing? And then what is my kavanah when I'm actually sitting and looking at the flame?
Yeah, Femi, very good question. Just to answer to one point and one question also of the Rabbinate Hadassah, Shabbat is so important that we are not afraid to receive it earlier because of the light of Hanukkah, or to light the light of Hanukkah later on Moshe Shabbat. Because Shabbat is like it's like there protecting everything. So that's why we are cool, not like in the days of the week. So now the intention of to have when you light your candles is first of all remembering what's happened with at the time of the Hashmonaim. This is what puts you in the mindset. That remembrance offers to you the right to claim that also you are lighting in order to be connected to your ancestors, to not let any single thing to cut you from the tradition of your ancestors that is Torah. And also this moment can be used with different situations that may happen in that 8 days of Hanukkah to give to you information about your identity, about your culture, about your soul. You can have specific type of studies in Hanukkah. All this type of intention will be answered back, you will see. Another thing is to fix for the masculine, for the man, the yesod, for the woman, the yesod, also the womb, meaning everything that can be achieved by fasting can be achieved easily by lighting just the candle of Hanukkah properly. That's why I'm insisting on the twilight time, on the two Chanukiot inside and outside, all these things, meaning to be fixed from that place, mean to have husband for the one need husband, to have shalom bayit for the one need shalom bayit, to have a good shidur for the one need good shidur, to have kids who will be listening more for the one who have problem to raise them up, to have also a kind of kindness in you for yourself, not to be too hard, not to be too strong, to be basically to fix all the topics around Piria or Rivia, meaning fructify, multiply, meaning from speed dating till the rising of the kids and the peace of the couple, and also all the regrets that you may have about the lost time where pleasure brought you on and you regret. This is a moment of regret also, and these lights are here to fix the damage of that actions that may be on your soul. That light are here to remove it. And there's a lot of segulot people using the, sometimes, when the candle is finished, you still have some oil. There's some people using that oil to do things. Me, the advice I say to people is like this. It's every single day if you light, you'll have some rest of oil. Put that oil all together, all together, all together, all together, all together, all together. And when it will be Shabbat instead of Chanukah, you use that oil, you put it on the candle of Shabbat, you had a bit of oil, new oil, and you light the light of your Shabbat with the rest of the candles that you had. If you still have to light after Shabbat, you keep that oil that are restant, and at the end of Hanukkah, when you will be light, you have light everything. You collect all this oil, you light one last oil, and on that last candle, you pray. You say, Hashem, I need this. Say, help me, connect me with this tzaddik, with this ancestor. I want to be protected. The best is to call out a tzaddik. Say, this, by the merit of all this oil, which are being the rest of all the Hanukkah, I light this candle. Please, I love the Torah of Rabbi Fataya. I love the Torah of this. Help me to connect with him. This light is for his merit. Yosef Atzadik, everything you need. Basically, there is no waste in the oil. Da Rabba. So, yes, Rabbi Shalva? Yeah.
Rabbi, should
Yeah.
I stay seated while until the flame is done? Should I stay seated all the time,
Yeah.
even though it's more than 30 minutes?
You are just standing when you do the lightings. When it's done, you sit. You sit, you enjoy sitting every time.
In the outside or inside?
If you want to sit in front of the candle outside, you sit. If you want to avoid your neighbor, even the one inside, you can sit. It works also. But we have to say that the mitzvah have to be performed on the outside one, because this is the halacha. But if you have a neighborhood very strange, there's no problem to sit inside. But to enjoy and to connect with the light, you have to be sitting. Go. Yes, Rabbi Tadassa, and after I will have to go. I have another limud. Bezrat Hashem, sorry. Yes, Rabbi Tadassa.
Okay, so I'm curious about the ritual for the leftover oil. So every day there will be a little leftover oil in each vessel. And so you're saying we can combine the leftover oils, and then for the Shabbat that is during Hanukkah, the Shabbat that comes during the week of Hanukkah, use that oil to add to the Shabbat candle oil and light the Shabbat. And then at the end of all the Hanukkah, after the Shabbat, after the last day of Hanukkah, the oil that's left, then you light a new candle.
A candle which is not connected at all to Hanukkah. It's like you finish your half an hour, you are okay. You can even wait it being the night time. You take that leftover candle. The best maybe is to wait even that the last candle you have lighted, that they will be off. You take all the leftover candle, you light them without any blessing, without nothing. You just ask a connection with some tzaddikim, with some tzaddikot. It can be the Imaot, Rachel, Sarah, Leah. Call them out. They are your ancestors. You are their kids. Call them out. This is the purpose of Hanukkah, is to claim our ancestors and to ask them to assist us in the daily life to not be in the wrong path. So the leftover is not a leftover. The leftover is the secret of everything. So it is a light.
Toda Rabbi.
You're welcome. Yes, Rabbi Mercy.
Okay, I'll make it quick because I know you have to go. Do I do the outside candle in my front door or my back door? does it matter? I have a mezuzah obviously on both doors.
It should be in your front door.
Okay, I knew you were going to say that. Okay, and do you think you can send us the handout, the pamphlet that you just showed us, so that way we'll have the blessings and all of that stuff? Do you think you could send that to
Yeah,
us?
yeah. I think it was sent, if I'm not wrong, but I will send it to you straight. No problem.
Okay, excellent. Oh, and then the very last thing, because I know you got to go. One of the things I was hoping that you were going to talk about also, and maybe this will be for another time, is how we study, how we can best effectively study Torah. Because I've heard a lot of things that women shouldn't study anything in the Mishnah or the Talmud, and but then so I'm trying to figure out how to best study, and then also what is the best effective way to meditate. And
I
you
will,
don't have to answer that today because you don't have time.
I will give a hint to the answer in vocal notes in the group in the afternoon. And after, if we need to go with Limud, with references and so on, we'll do it next week. No problem. Toda Rabba. Thank you very much, Rabbaniot. It was always a pleasure. And Mercy, talk to you tomorrow, Bezrat Hashem, bli neder, like we say. And thank you
Thank
very much
you.
to everybody. Toda Rabba, Chief Rabbi Natan Hanan, Rabbanit Talia, Rabbanit Simcha Chaya, Rabbanit Hadassah, Rabbanit Mercy, Rabbanit Shalva. Toda Rabba to all of you. And Shavua Tov. And if you have any question about the Chanukah, feel free. And I will send,
I
no, it
would.
Yeah.
will not be mixed up with the video. It would be sent properly today. Don't.
Oh, Chief Rabbi,
Thank
told
you.
one Chief
Thank
Rabbi, were you able
you.
to get the other video out of the trash? Out
Almost,
of Were you able to get the video from last week's Limud? Because I know you said you
no.
put it in the trash.
I tried to see if there's a way to, because I put it in the trash and after I emptied the trash.
Oh
So
no.
this,
Oh, okay.
this is
Okay.
the thing. So
Okay.
I will try being there. I will try to summarize it with a small video of 15 minutes to keep something like to remind you what we said. Bezrat Hashem. Really.
Okay, told Rabbi.
Toda Rabba Rabbaniot. See you next
Bye
week.
Thank
bye.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Alina. Bye bye.